Hello, friends and neighbors, and welcome to episode 35 of Ray and Benny Talk Sports. We got some live game updates for y'all. We have the NHL Eastern Conference Final going on, and of course, opening night of the Canadian Football League, where we have Montreal versus Calgary. What's the scores on there, brother? What's going on in those games?
Well, right now, the Lightning and the Rangers tied 1-1, 6 minutes left in the third period. CFL hit halftime. It's 24-14 for the Alouettes.
That's a shocker.
Yes.
That is a shocker. Go Kahari. Go Kahari.
I have my predictions here. I want to change them already.
No, don't. You're not allowed. Not allowed. Put that white out away. Friends and neighbors, don't forget to smash that subscribe button or follow on your favorite podcast provider. It really helps get the word out, helps get us some good advertising for free. So do that for us. Also, leave a like, leave a comment. Tell us what you think. Benny, where can they find us on social media, brother?
You can find us, Ray Benny Sports. We are on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok.
Ooh.
Check us out.
How's Bo Levi Mitchell playing?
Not bad. He was 9 of 15 for, 10 of 17 now for 114, but one TD, one interception. I'm assuming the interception, just because I don't have the game on live here, was the one late in the half that led to a Montreal touchdown. So.
Oh, that's right. There was a bit of scoring quickly there when we were getting ready for setup here. Whoa, okay.
Yeah.
Good
Not
CFL
bad for Vernon
score.
Adams.
What's so the score 24-14 at half?
24-14 at half, yeah.
That's a good CFL action.
Yeah, already high
CFL
scoring.
in points. Don't worry about it. Get some exhibition in there. Get a full training camp. That's what we're talking about. So let's keep talking about CFL football. Bombers going to have their season opener showing the new banner tomorrow evening at IGF, or when this releases today, this evening at IGF, when y'all are listening on your car ride to work. So let's look at the Bombers and their opening game and their roster. Let's look at some strength and weaknesses, or questions, as some like to say. Let's start with those questions, bro. What do you have as one of your questions or concerns going into the season?
Yeah, I don't know if necessarily there's weaknesses per se, but there is questions, and some of those questions are going to be these rookie guys coming into the lineup, especially on the defense. Right now, free safety. We got Thompson, Malcolm Thompson, not a rookie. Well, kind of, yes. I mean,
he hasn't had too much game action. He's a Canadian.
He started 2 games, I think, for Hamilton last year.
Yeah.
So big question there when you're filling Brandon Alexander's shoes.
That's huge.
You know, that big play ability by Alexander, those hits, the fear that he would put into those receivers' heads as they're coming across the middle or whatever. So those are some big shoes to fill. Can he do it?
Amount of space that Brandon Alexander can cover. The guy wasn't athlete. He can be there for run support just like that. He can be there covering the over top route just like that. And his ability to read plays, it's something that obviously Thompson doesn't have. You only get that through experience and playing that speed of game.
And the ability to light people up.
Yeah, brother. I
mean, Thompson may have that. We'll see. But so that's a big one for me. And then right now, our weak side linebacker, right? Donald Rutledge. I believe that's where he's playing. It is another question mark with Mercy Mason out for the season.
Yeah. Mercy Mason is a big loss. That's a big loss.
Yeah. And Rutledge is also a rookie, I believe. This is his first year in the CFL. So, we'll see what he can do there. And it'll be a good test tomorrow kind of thing with Ottawa. And, he's just going to take steps and build from there from game 1 on. So, hopefully as the season progresses, he gets better and more understanding of the game. But, for the Bombers to put him in that position, they must trust what he's been bringing so far.
Yeah, absolutely. And we talked about this guy throughout the preseason and not having the ability to really see him in action as it is in the CFL and not being televised. You'll get one game. So you can't really judge. So it'll be my eyes will be on him all game long, as well as the safety Thompson, like you said. A concern of mine, a question, of course, and I won't harp on it much longer, is the kicking game. That is absolutely important. But when I say that, also, Bomber Nation, fans of Bomber land, let's have a little bit of patience. Don't be calling to throw the bank at Jason Medlock right away. Like right now, we're like, oh, we wish we had Castillo. Oh, we wish we had the opportunity to get Hiralahu. Those guys started off kind of iffy too. Yeah. And in Winnipeg, so we know. So maybe this is Leggio's chance to say, let's support the guy and see what happens. And of course, if it goes bad, it goes bad. The guy was 10 for 16 last year on field goals and extra points. So that's not it doesn't give you much optimism. I'm not going to lie. But he's what we have now, and we do have to support the guy. And it does help. Kicker, especially mentally. It's such a mental game if you know you have the crowd behind you.
Yeah, it's interesting because even Illyrium, I was at that game quite a few years ago against Edmonton where I don't know how many missed that game, and some of them were chip shots, and then he finally hits one at the end, and we're all cheering and going crazy because he finally hit one. They take the lead, and then Sean White goes and hits like a 50-plus yarder, and you're like,
yeah.
So I get it. Yeah, we're hoping second year for Leggio, and he'll be able to deliver this time. But
yeah,
the Bombers won a lot of games early in the season, despite their kickers. So, sometimes that comes back to bite you in the butt if your kicker's not doing the same this year again or playing terribly. So,
well, they won the Grey Cup because of their kicker.
Yes, exactly. That's the funny
that
thing,
as
right?
well. Yeah,
kicking
absolutely.
troubles at the beginning, win the Grey Cup because you're a kicker. So
yeah, and again, this is not a weakness, just a question of it's a question mark. I don't know about the special teams. Like I know Janarian Grant will be returning them. But and he was solid. Whenever you average more than 10 yards on a punt return and you get one touchdown, it's good. But, man, we haven't had a threat since, what? Again, AJ Albert Johnson?
Yeah.
Flight 87? Like a real consistent, dangerous specialty. And, I hope we see a little more flashy or productive special teams from them.
Yeah, Grant's been pretty good when he's played. He was injured a little bit last year's season, right? So... And now he's also going to be playing more wide receiver probably. So we'll see. Hopefully he can hold up in both positions because, you definitely need that return game in the CFL. It helps you out quite a bit, especially with that big field.
Yeah.
If you can get that room, you get some great field position out of it. So he's a pretty good returner for me. Like I feel he is. So
yeah,
stay on the field. How about those wide receivers? What do you think? Should be okay?
I think, quality-wise across the board, they're as strong as anyone else in the league.
Yeah. Just questions still. Can they step up and do it?
Yeah, you know what? We're going to have a little piece here where we talk about players who need to step up, so we might as well talk about that right now. Is there someone in the receiving core that you're looking to step up? Because, we talk about kicking. Leggio is someone I'm looking to step up this year. Is there someone in the receiving core that you're looking to step up?
Showtime, Rasheed Bailey, man.
Yeah,
he's got to grab that Lawler spot, that number one wide receiver, and bring it week after week. We saw him; he was good and bad in the preseason. He had a couple passes that he probably should have caught, and then he caught some that were tough that he made the catches. So, and from what I remember from last season, that's kind of what he was. So, more consistency out of him.
Yeah.
And if him and Dembski, they can definitely lead this wide receiver core. If Bailey can make those catches that he's supposed to catch and focus on those games. We know Dembski's going to do it. So if Bailey can do it, it'll be a pretty solid wide receiver core.
Yeah, I do also have Rasheed Bailey on players who this year need to step up or players who I believe will take that next step. But at the same time, and I might have mentioned this last week, I think this might be a good thing if there isn't that number one receiver through and through. Yeah. And we know Collaros likes to spread the ball around. He uses the field. And now with the hash mark being brought in, maybe that's just the ability to spread the ball more. A little more to Ellingson, a little more to Wolotarski, a little more to Dembski, possible Canadian of the year, like you mentioned. So I think maybe that benefits, especially when you have a good O-line. Let's talk about strengths. There's the strength. Yeah, you lose someone like Drew Desjardins, and then you have Jeff Gray stepping in.
Yeah, and he's a player who needs to step up this year.
Yeah, I have him on there too. Absolutely. This is his opportunity because we know we have Dobson. He knows they have Dobson right there, ready to take a spot.
Exactly. Yeah, he knows if any misstep, they'll trial Dobson and see what he can do. So, Jeff Gray's got to come in. I think Dobson's I thought he was on the one game injured, so he won't even be around for this first game. But, Jeff Gray got to fill that another one with big shoes to fill in Desjardins' spot. So keep that O-line intact. So he's just got to do his job. And I mean, we've seen good flashes from him.
Yeah.
You know, he hasn't been terrible at all when he's played. So I think he'll do fine.
4 out of 5 starters are coming back. 3 of them all-stars. So I'm definitely not concerned there. That's a huge strength on the team.
Yeah. Another question for me is running backs. Can they do what Andrew Harris did?
Yeah.
Who's going to be, Oliveira or Augustine? Sounds like Oliveira, Brady Oliveira's starting this game.
Yeah.
So, but we've talked about it. It'd probably be the hot hand kind of thing.
Absolutely.
Can they do enough to fill those shoes?
I think so. I think they'll coexist. Like when we had Harris, when we had the 3 of them last year, it just reminded me of like back in the day when Canadian running backs were valued. Like when Edmonton, sorry to bring up 1993, when Sammy Garza played Edmonton in the Grey Cup in Calgary. But Edmonton had like Blake Marshall, Michael Souls, and Brian Walling, 3 great Canadian running backs.
Yeah. And
that was like a huge strength. And I think this is what we have here. Imagine if they had Kyle Borsa still. But I think it'll be by committee, like we said, and the hot hand. And I think it'll be a good thing. I think come Labor Day or so, Johnny Augustine will start pulling ahead. Or maybe that's my wish. But I think both, you can't go wrong with either back. And if one's not feeling it, let's try another one. And they're 2 different styles.
Yeah, they've both shown flashes for sure. So now we'll see if they can do it over a full course of a season. And with the pressure of that starter role, and with the pressure of taking over for Andrew Harris, right?
Yeah.
Not an easy job to fill. Andrew Harris, you know, he came in here, helped us win Grey Cups, helped change his team around. So now, you know, Brady Oliveira is definitely licking his chops and waiting for his chance to do it. So
for sure.
I'm expecting big things out of him tomorrow night.
And it's great when you hear him talk about, I think it was on their Facebook or somewhere where they posted an interview with him where he still gets the chills, you know, coming into the stadium because he watched players play in that stadium. And I think also maybe Canadians, one of the greatest stadiums in the world ever.
Missed that place, man. I missed that place.
Oh, look at that. Beautiful. Right behind me. Sheesh. Yeah. Let's talk about his strength in the defensive line. And at the same time, let's talk about a player who I think is going to step up this year with Sales. I know we're going to miss Stevie Richardson, but that guy, he's a wrecking ball in the middle. He's a wrecking ball in the middle. And talking about someone who's on the one-day injured list, Jackson Jeffcoat with an ankle injury.
Hopefully it's not longer than that.
Yeah, so they have two young guys, what's his name again? Wilcott and...
LB Mack.
LB Mack. So we'll see what they can do. They have a huge opportunity there, but I think Casey Sales is someone that he's just an anchor, bro.
Yeah, he's got to fill in for Richardson there for sure, and I think he'll take that next step also. Like, and you know, when you got Willie Jefferson and Jackson Jeffcoat on the sides, you know, helping you out, you know, it definitely makes things a little bit easier. So, and you know, most O lines are going to focus on those 2 guys. So it opens things up for Sales for sure.
Yeah, and I think also because we're talking about questions about the secondary, because that D-line can be so good and so dominant, that takes the pressure off the secondary a lot, especially at the beginning of the year. You know, QBs and receivers and O-line, they're not quite in stride. The defense is usually a couple steps ahead starting the season off, especially this Bomber defense. Oh, gosh, I'm sorry, Ottawa, for what's going to happen to you. But I don't know. The defense will be there. The defense and that defensive line, I think, is just the strength of the team.
Yeah, and then that's the biggest thing. Like we said about strengths, O-line, D-line. You got all the veterans basically returning on those lines, you know, and guys that have actually been here for longer than a season too. So, you know, and then the depth of the Bombers too. You'll see it as guys. If guys go down, and you know it's football, guys are going to go down for sure. Yeah. But like last year, they just plugged and played. You know, new guy came in and they didn't really miss a beat and stuff like that. So that's another great thing that they've built here is that depth and that Canadian depth.
They got a good culture, bro.
Yeah.
You gotta go culture.
Yeah.
It's fun to be a Bomber fan right now.
For sure.
It's fun to be a Bomber fan and a CFL fan. And a CFL. There was a little bit of me.
Baby.
There's a little bit of me earlier on, like a month ago, was like, oh my gosh, are we gonna have a season? So yeah, remember labor strife. Sorry to bring it up. Anyways, it's good. 7-year contract. It's all good. Let's talk about teams or team or whatever who might give the Bombers trouble this year. Is there anyone that you are really concerned about? You know, it's not about underestimating a team or no respect to other teams. It's just that, you know, the Bombers are 2-time champions and they have a quality roster, a lot of returns. Is there anyone that gives you concern in the CFL?
Not necessarily. Well, I mean, for the West, I don't. I think the Bombers will finish first, getting ahead in the predictions. Yeah. No problem. I think there's a lot of question marks on a lot of teams in the West. So, you know, maybe we'll see as the season goes on, some of those questions will be answered. But I think every one of those teams are kind of seeing where they're at. They got questions. So I don't think anything in the West. In the East, you know what? I think, you know, there's Hamilton and Toronto for me that may give them some trouble. Yeah. I'm sure the Bombers aren't going to go 18-0. That's not going to happen. No. I think those two teams in the East will probably give them better games and then give them a challenge in the playoffs. But those are the ones for me.
Yeah, it's not like specific teams. Exactly. You know, Hamilton will be good. Calgary will be good. Saskatchewan will be good. I don't think Toronto will be as good as you're putting on Toronto. Interesting. Interesting. But it's not them particularly, but there's a really rough point in their schedule between August 25th and September 30th, where they play Calgary, Saskatchewan, Hamilton by Saskatchewan. The teeth of that part of the schedule, I think, is going to be tough, whether they're home or away. They're going to be playing quality teams back-to-back, high-emotion games with Labor Day. So, yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, that is a pretty tough stretch. But they'll go 3-0 against Saskatchewan anyways, right? So,
what are you doing, bro? Is that like saying shutout?
No. Let's move on from that. I mean, maybe they'll go 2-1 against Saskatchewan.
Yeah.
That Labor Day game I always check that off as a loss no matter what. The Bombers could be, the best team of the century, and Saskatchewan could be the worst team of the century. And
yeah,
it's like we've done Bomber interviews, right? They always said, the James
emotion,
West and all those guys, the emotion of the game and everything like that. It's sometimes you go in there and you're like, damn, what happened? So,
we've been there as fans.
Yes, yeah,
we've seen the good and the bad. Oh, don't. That's something you still can't say. That was a horrible weekend, but still fun. Still fun.
Yeah,
it's worth the trip. If you have not been to Regina for a Labor Day Classic, you gotta go.
Yeah, check it out for sure.
It's like Banjo Bowl on steroids. Should I say? I shouldn't say that. Steroids is not a good thing. Banjo just hyped up on a lot of Red Bull and beer. And beer. Yes. Oh, my goodness. So let's look at the Bomber game. Opening weekend against Ottawa. What are the keys to the game? And what are your predictions here? What is your prediction in this game?
Well, key to the game, one of them we talked about, Jeff Code out. So can LB Mack fill in his shoes and do a good enough job there?
Yeah.
And then we go back to the newcomers that we kind of talked about a few of them. Malcolm Thompson. How he'll fare at free safety. He only started, like we said, 2 games in Hamilton. Yeah. Donald Rutledge, first career game. So will he be able to play that position well enough? Dalton Schoen starts at slot back. Will he continue on from his preseason games and continue to shine? And then Taekwon Glass at CB. He's been around, 3-year vet. He's coming in and to fill a spot that was a pretty good strong suit for the Bombers last year. And it started with a bunch of new guys also. So for the Bombers side, those are my keys and questions kind of thing to see what they can do, those guys.
Yeah, my keys to the game here is that defense that we have has really got to contain Mazzoli.
Yeah.
Mazzoli really has fun playing against the Bombers when he can get out of the pocket.
Yeah, and that's where Mac's going to come into play.
Yeah, man. Yeah. And Adam Bighill. Adam Bighill. We got to keep that guy in the pocket, and we can't let him get chunk yards. When that guy is running for 8, 10 yards, it just messes up your whole defense. You know what I mean? Because people start cheating up, and then when he gets out of the pocket, you cheat up, then he throws the ball over your head. They can't do that. They cannot do that. And not that I fear Ottawa's receiving core, although they have Darvin Adams. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome. No, Welcome Back, Cotter. Remember that show?
Yes.
Mr. Kata. Any which way. So I think the defense have got to contain Mazzoli, and I think it'll be a big thing, the student versus the teacher here with Lapo and Pierce. How well do they know each other? Obviously, you know, Lapo taught Pierce everything he knows, maybe, but he doesn't know everything Lapo knows.
We didn't get to see Lapo last year at all, right? The Bombers didn't play Ottawa. So.
You haven't seen Ottawa for 2 years because of the year off and because of the horrible skill. Like, what is that?
Just like not playing Toronto at home this year.
It's just
what?
You don't need to see Saskatchewan 7 times. It's fine. Ugh, 2 is good.
I know. That's 7, too many times sometimes.
I'm exaggerating. But yeah, I think that'll be a cool matchup to keep an eye on. So who's going to win the game, bro?
I'm going Bombers, of course. I think Ottawa still needs some time to gel. They got 10 new starters on offense.
Oh,
right? So 10 out of 12 guys are brand new. So,
yeah.
And they got pretty brand new O-line. I think there's only one guy returning. And a lot of fresh faces there. I think a few of them are draft picks even, aren't they?
On the O-line? Yeah.
Unless I'm wrong. But
they picked up 3 veterans. I wish I knew their names off the top of my head right now.
So maybe they drafted a few guys, but the vets will start. But so that
still
was
a new unit. Still a new unit.
Exactly.
You have to, like we've seen here in Bomberland, where we have talented offensive linemen in the years of Dave Mudge and so, but they just never got together as a unit.
Yeah.
So yeah, I totally agree with that. I'm taking the Bombers just because, again, like I said earlier, defenses are just gelled earlier in the season, and they're just such a force and so many returning players that there's less to get. Like you said, Ottawa, they've got to gel.
Yeah.
They've got to gel.
Yeah, it's going to take some time. And maybe they'll start rolling as the season goes on. But yeah, Bombers for sure tomorrow night. Banner raising, home opener.
Be there by your Ticats. We gotta get more. We gotta get more fans out than BC.
Sell that place out. You know what? Good
BC's
job for BC, man.
Hell
good
yeah!
job.
Restore the roar. You gotta love that. Props. Oh, good for them. New owner, new energy. Let's go CFL. So let's look at the rest of the CFL week. We're gonna have a little segment here called Movie Matchup Predictions. Why don't we start with the Bomber Ottawa game, since we kind of talked about it already? And the thing is here, we're going to choose movie titles that best describe the matchups of the CFL in the week. You're up, bro.
I'm going either, probably leaning towards Rocky 5 or Rocky 4 here. You got the newcomer.
Hey? I knew Rocky would make an appearance.
You got the newcomer coming in with some hype. Ottawa's Drago, Tommy the Gun. Probably Tommy the Gun than anything. I know Tommy the Gun won the championship, but whatever.
Yeah.
So it's the next possible champ trying to knock off the older seasoned team. But in the end, the Bombers / Rocky still come out on top. Sorry for the spoiler in case you haven't watched Rocky yet.
That's okay. Yo, good to get on that. And I know this will not be the last Rocky mention. Not at all. This movie matchup thing, I said that first in my head. I'm like, he's going to pick Rocky. Any which way, I'd had the Owls and Stamps. And the movie I took was The Quick and the Dead. That was a Western from the 90s with Sharon Stone, Gene Hackman, Russell Crowe as the priest, Leonardo DiCaprio. And it's all about the old slinger versus the young gunslinger in the sense of Gene Hackman and DiCaprio. That's what we have here with Adams and Bo Levi Mitchell. And it looks right now, what's the score there, bro? Is a young gunslinger winning?
Yeah, he's still winning 24-14, third quarter, about 5 minutes in. So
that could change the ending of The Quick and the Dead.
Yeah.
Because I think Gene Hackman got DiCaprio there. He got him.
Yeah, I think so too. That's a long time ago, that movie. We were stuck in the 90s with both of our movies so far.
It was so good. What's your next matchup and next movie, brother?
Ticats, Hamilton Ticats, Saskatchewan Roughriders. And I did not even know this movie existed. I know I've heard of it. It was the first one, but Joe Dirt #2.
Oh.
And it's called Beautiful Losers.
Oh, I
Both
see.
of these teams, losing to the Bombers last season, kind of over the last 2 seasons, basically. So yeah, I had to go with that one for this one.
That's fair. That's fair for that matchup. Who's going to win that matchup?
I think the Ticats will win that matchup for sure.
Yeah, they're going to be a strong outfit again, man. And they're talking about D-lines. They got that good lead D-line centered by Ted Laurent. Oh, man.
Yeah.
We're going to get to predictions soon, but it's going to be Hamilton, Winnipeg, I think, in the Grey Cup. Let me go with this final matchup, Edmonton and BC. I'm going to call this one the Empire Strikes Back. I think that evil Empire, the EE that Chris Jones represent, is going to have a good week with that defense. Yeah. And again, it goes about the defense just being a couple steps ahead of offenses, especially with that BC offense. The O-line, I don't know if it's much improved. A very young quarterback, so let's see. I want to call it Roar or Deer Hunter, but nah, that's not going to happen, bro. The Empire, I think, is going to strike back this week, and I'm taking Edmonton.
That'll be an interesting game for sure. Packed crowd. Good job, BC.
Good for y'all. Good for y'all. If y'all have any movie titles, game matchups, put them in the comments down here.
Somewhere.
Yeah, it's down here. Put on YouTube. Y'all on the podcast audio can't see what I'm pointing at. Let's look at the standing predictions that you have for this year, brother, and then we'll look at the semifinals and finals and Grey Cup winner that you think will happen. Give me your placings in the West Division first.
Okay. Can I change it?
No. Okay. No, go of course. Last second,
kidding.
Do it.
Just kidding. I'm going Bombers first, of course.
Yeah.
Calgary second.
Yeah.
Edmonton third. Saskatchewan fourth, and BC fifth, unfortunately.
Okay, let's just quickly address this because we have the same order except for Saskatchewan, Edmonton. I have Saskatchewan in third place. What do you think Edmonton's going to do to get ahead of Saskatchewan? Because I just think Saskatchewan, and I do have Calgary second. I do think Saskatchewan has Fajardo. I think they'll still be strong. What are you thinking?
Chris Jones.
Yeah, bro.
That guy just gets it done. Like, I don't even think I'm not totally sold yet on Edmonton's roster, their quarterbacks, but Chris Jones. He just, once he starts coaching, it's for some reason, man, he starts winning games. So, and Saskatchewan's got a few questions. Fajardo's a question. Yeah. Their DBs are a question. So I think Edmonton does enough to take that third spot.
All right, let's go in the East. In the East, I have Hamilton, Toronto, Ottawa, Montreal. I just think Hamilton, again, they're consistent in their roster, just like the Bombers are. They're coaching with Steinauer. I think we'll see him in the Grey Cup pretty much. What's your placings in the East?
Pretty much the same, except we're flipping two teams. Toronto, Hamilton, Ottawa, and then Montreal.
Yeah, you think three last names is going to get it together? I like their defense.
No, man, I'm waiting for Chad Kelly to take over.
That's right. Chad Kelly is going to light the league on fire. I hope he does light the league on fire. I hope so. Wouldn't that be awesome if Chad Kelly just went crazy because of the connection to the Buffalo market as well? So many Bills fans. And that would bring people to the stadium. If he had Doug Flutie type, oh, bro. I don't want to put that pressure on him.
That'll bring a bunch of American fans over, interested in the season. It's going to prop up Toronto's fan base or crowd at least a little bit. So it'll be exciting if he takes over. I don't know if he's ready or not, but we'll probably find out.
All right. West Final. Who do you have making the West Final?
Winnipeg, Calgary. You?
Winnipeg, Calgary. Winnipeg, Calgary. How about in the East?
Toronto, Ottawa. Going with Ottawa on the upset over Hamilton.
Bruh.
Yeah.
Wow. It's like, okay.
Maybe I jumped on that hype train for Ottawa too much. We'll see.
No, we'll get into detail of these picks in weeks to come. I got Hamilton, Toronto in the final. Who do you got in the Grey Cup? And who do you got winning the Grey Cup?
Winnipeg over Toronto.
Okay. I have Winnipeg over Hamilton. There you are. We'll post those on social media, on Facebook. Don't forget us to follow us there. Quick note, bro. It was fun. TSN top 50 players. 6 of the top 7 were on the Bombers roster last year, of course. Can you tell me who was the Bomber that's not there no more?
Andrew Harris? No.
Kenny Lawler.
How did I not think of that?
That's okay. Andrew Harris was close too, bro.
I was trying to think of the DBs that were gone, Alford and all that were trying to pop in my head, but Lawler's no question, Lawler.
Quick shot. You got 10 seconds to address this. Dashaun Watson in Cleveland.
Dude, NFL, suspend his you-know-what. Get him out of there. You know what? Suspend maybe the Texans because they have a part in this too.
Bro.
What a mess.
Imagine being a female and working for both those organizations.
Yeah.
What are just this NFL? You're so laughable. It's laughable.
Totally laughable. Cleveland Browns are also laughable for going after this guy. So
shut him down. You know, one team would have. The NFL should have shut him down.
Yeah, big time.
Benny, who's your brickhead of the week?
Going back, we talked about this the other day. Larry Tannenbaum, CFL season about to kick off. Week 1, get the hype going. Dude tried to cold water over the CFL.
Yeah.
You know what, man? Take a step back. Larry Tannenbaum, you're my brickhead of the week.
Jeez. Can I give a junior brickhead this week?
Yeah, go ahead.
Like, how about Ticketmaster get their stuff together so I don't have to go to one app and then another site and then they give me wrong information. I don't have the ticket, so I have to save it on my Apple Wallet and then they're Ticketmaster, what a mess. Just saying.
Big time.
Junior brickhead. Sorry to jump on that. I got a shout out this week going out to Jake Thomas, going into his 10th year as a Winnipeg Blue Bomber, the longest serving bomber, and he wouldn't have had a chance if we didn't have the ratio. And you can ask Willie Jefferson and Jackson Jeffcoat if he matters on that line.
Yeah, big time.
And they'll say, dang, yeah, that's why he got to raise the Grey Cup first when they finally broke the streak. So shout out to the kid from Douglas, New Brunswick. Benny.
Right on.
You have anything to say to the people?
Couple things. Tampa Bay, big win, 3-1 over the Rangers. Take that series lead.
Whoa.
Stanley Cup champs, man, showing why they're Stanley Cup champs. Back-to-back Stanley Cup champs.
Can't wait to talk about that on a Monday. What else you got, bro?
Could be over by then.
Oh, exactly.
You know what? Thanks for listening, everyone. Thanks for following. Thanks for subscribing. Have a good weekend.
You know, I have a cross-stitch, a bomber logo from a past relationship. And I have it on my wall. And people are like, whoa, why do you put that up in your house? Isn't that rude? And in the famous words of Ray Strawn, relationships are fabulous. Bombers are forever. Be kind. Be safe. Help each other out. Hey, friends and neighbors, don't forget to check us out online on Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter at Ray Benny Sports. And don't forget to check out our YouTube channel. Leave a like, leave a comment, tell us what you think.